And he looked up at me, he said, "I'm much bigger on screen." And he jumped up and he gave me this big hug. And rugby players, we hug each other, but after we've gone to war, I've not gone to war with this guy. It was incredible. I really enjoyed spending time with him, and obviously spent quite a bit of time with Mr. Freeman and with Mr. Eastwood, and it's awesome that Hollywood decided to make this movie. So I had no influence in the movie whatsoever, bar, I think, the Robben Island scene, which I told him about. So then we paid our own way to go to Los Angeles with our friends to go and watch the premiere of Invictus. Walking the red carpet, Jean and Stefan, our two boys, are there. First time I think they wore a jacket in their lives, tie, looking very smart, and all these Uber directors come up to you, the who's who's Hollywood, and they say, "I really hope you like the movie. I really hope you like the movie." And I said to my wife, "I really hope I like this bloody movie." So when that scene came on, the scene I told you about, Robben Island, I started crying uncontrollably. I almost left the theatre, which would have been disastrous, you can imagine. You know, when Hollywood tells a story about people's lives, everybody believes it to be fact. Because Hollywood has told that story now, everything is true. Now, walking outside with Jean and Francois Pienaar, and I could see my oldest son. He plays rugby, he likes rugby, unfortunately, but he also plays the violin. It's the Renaissance upbringing. And I could see Jean is quite, he's puzzled. And I looked at him and said, "Jean, what's wrong?" He says, "Dad, were you guys really that bad in 1995? I mean, this movie makes us out to be useless. I mean, this team is so terrible that they can't win anything." I hated it in the movie. There's certain things that I didn't like, but there's certain things I liked. So when Matt came and had dinner with us, I asked him 2 favors. I said, one, the Afrikaner accent. When Hollywood portrays an Afrikaner, we come over retards. I mean, we come over, "It's great, it's fantastic, we really come out, it's wonderful." We're not that stupid, please. And with us was his voice coach, and he was also the voice coach of Leonardo DiCaprio in Blood Diamond. So I said, please get the accent right. And I think he got it right. And the second thing is vanity. When I was asked to go and collect the cup from Mr. Mandela, how I was brought up, you always tuck in your shirt. And my shirt was hanging out, and we were patting each other on the back, and they were announcing that I should go up on stage. And I grabbed my shirt and I stuck it into my pants, and I pulled my pants up, and I went and I shook Mr. Mandela's hand, and he said the most beautiful thing ever to me. When I shook his hands, he put his hand on my shoulder. He said, "Francois, thank you very much for what you've done for South Africa." Couldn't believe it. I said to him, "Mr. Mandela, thank you for what you've done for South Africa." Now, filled with that emotion, I lifted the cup as high as I could. The problem is, my pants were too high, so it shifted up uncomfortably high. It's not a good look. So I said, Matt, in the scene, can you just drop the pants? Drop it, please. And he did that. You know that. What I didn't like, I get a disproportionate amount of credit in this movie. Because obviously the story is about Madiba's life and what a great leader he is. We didn't see anything about our coach. It was incredible. He's got 100% victory. My mentor, very, very wise man. About our management team and about the rest of the players. So it's embarrassing that I get the credit that I do get. And I'm not saying it glibly. I would like to have seen more about the coach. But it is impossible, ladies and gentlemen, for any Hollywood director. There's not one clever enough to be able to capture what happened in South Africa after the final whistle blew. We had a nation that was torn apart, And in the course of 6 weeks, healing happened. People were dancing in the streets everywhere. I still hear today stories about people where they were and how they reacted. Incredible the power of sport, but the power of leadership. When the final whistle blew and a reporter ran and he stuck a microphone in my face and he said, "Francois, tell us, how did it feel like to win in front of 65,000 people?" And my reply came, "We didn't win in front of 65,000 people, we won in front of 43 million people." Now marketing people have asked me, did you think of that? Good. I said, well, I'm not bright enough to think about that. The reason why I replied was, when we checked into the hotel before we played Australia, the lady that checked us in, that worked behind the counter, was wearing a Springbok. First time in her life. The gentleman that served me breakfast in the morning would say to me, "Have you had enough to eat? You must eat, you must be strong. You're going to play Australia tomorrow." The lady that would make up our rooms would say, "Do you need an extra pillow? Have you had a good night's rest?" Those small kids, that's why I replied that it wasn't just for the lucky, privileged few that could buy tickets. It was for everyone in South Africa. In closing, ladies and gentlemen, the world is constantly in need of leadership. But here I'm not talking about ordinary or day-to-day leadership. I'm talking about courageous and selfless leadership. People that want to win against the odds. They love what they do. They train very, very hard for it. And ultimately they will achieve success. It's part of their DNA to transform their organizations. These businesses and leaders are prepared to become greater than themselves. They keep pushing the boundaries. In South Africa, we could not have asked for a better example than Nelson Mandela, who embraced sport as a nation builder. When his beloved ANC did not agree with him, he said, "The time for the healing of wounds has come. The moment to breach the chasms that divide us has come. The time to build is upon us. Never, never, and never again shall it be that this beautiful land will again experience the oppression of one by another and suffer the indignity of being the skunk of the world. Let freedom reign. The sun shall never set on such a glorious human achievement." God bless Africa. God bless the business leaders in this gathering here today in Porto. Have a super 2013, and thank you very much for listening to my story, ladies and gentlemen.